Hi guys, welcome to Caitlin and Jazz Books, and today I'm going to be attempting to do my 2017 wrap-up. So I'm going to be holding off all the books that I read in 2017. There was 56 of them, so this video is going to be quite long, and I'm getting myself into a bit of a mess by doing this, I know, but I'll probably be in more than one outfit because it'll probably take me more than one day to film this, but we will see. And yeah, I'm just going to get onto it. I'm just going to say the title, who wrote it, and then my star rating because I don't want to go into depth. Book 1 was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Book 2 through 6 was the last 5 novellas in Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Robin Wasserman. I read Pale Kings and Princes, Bitter of Tongue, The Fiery Trial, Born to End This Night, and Angels Twice Descending, which got a mix of 4 and 5 stars. Then the next book I read was Girl Online Going Solo by Zoe Sugg, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, John Tiffany and Jack Thorne, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Then I read Monsters by Emerald Fennell, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I hate this video already. Then I read The Selection, The Elite, The One, The Heir, and The Crown, all by Kiera Cass. I gave The Selection 4 stars, The Elite 4 stars, The One 5 stars, The Heir and The Crown 3.5 stars, and I read these twice, another time throughout the year, so I read these twice. Then I read The Story of Shannon Rose, Lessons Between the Lines by Shannon Rose, which I gave 3.5 stars. After that I read The Scarecrow Queen by Melinda Salisbury, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Next I read Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosnay, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling, the original screenplay, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I read A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. My bae. Then I read The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Always and Forever Lara Jean by Jenny Han, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Medea by Euripides, but this version's by Ben Power, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Wolf by Ryan Gordon, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Wide Window by Lemony Snicket, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read A Thousand Nights by E.K. Johnston, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Then I read Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I reread City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then I reread The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I read Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, which I gave 4.5 stars out of 5. Then I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I then read Hedda Gabler by Henrik Ibsen, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars, but I don't have a copy of it. I read Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Alex and Eliza by Melissa De La Cruz, which I gave 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. Then I read Nerve by Jeanne Ryan, which I gave 4.5. No, I didn't. Then I read Nerve by Jeanne Ryan, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Atonement by E. McEwen, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read All That She Can See by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read On Chisel Beach by Ian McEwan, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And finally, I read Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Done! That wasn't fun to film. That wasn't fun to film, and this isn't going to be fun to edit, but I mean, the things we do for YouTube, right? So I read a total of 56 books this year. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below how many books you read this year, what your favourites were, and what your least favourites were. My favourites were A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, The Deathly Hallows, and Turtles All the Way Down, as well as Atonement. I had a lot of books that I read this year I absolutely loved. I didn't have too many which I didn't like. I didn't like The Cursed Child by Jack Thorne. Don't like saying it's by J.K. Rowling because it's not. That's my whole reading wrap up for this year. Leave a like, comment and subscribe, and someone will see you next time. Bye guys!